Hello, everyone. This is Nate Sanchez with Farmers Insurance, and I'm here with a good friend of mine, Karen. Karen, why don't you go and introduce yourself?
Thanks, Nate. I'm Karen Liz Albert. I'm a social media coach and trainer. I'm the owner and founder of a company called Behind Your Curtain, which I launched in 2010. And I specialize in helping real estate professionals and authors and small business owners increase their use of social media through strategic and targeted use, so they actually convert 100% of the right people into paying customers. Excited to be here.
Perfect.
If we go back to the pre-social media days and we think about what is it that we had to do to craft a marketing strategy or campaign that was going to be the most effective, it always started with understanding who is your consumer, who is the right, the one that you're wanting to get your message in front of. And what we tend to do when it comes to social media is we tend to make it all about us and put out all the information that's all about us and sort of throw it out there and hope someone sees it and see what sticks. And we're kind of forgetting about let's go back to marketing 101. And if you get clear on who it is that you want to put your marketing message in front of, that's why social media the platforms can be so incredibly powerful for small business owners. If you start with the step one of, let me really identify who it is that I want to get my marketing message in front of. And so that ties in really nicely with the answer to the first question, which is it really depends on who you are trying to attract, because not every consumer lives on every social media platform. And so it doesn't make sense for you to invest a lot of time in Facebook, for example, if you were to tell me that your ideal niche customer is doctors, right? They're not really on Facebook. I would say, let's go craft a really great, powerful strategy in LinkedIn, and let's learn how to get you to connect with those professionals, not only the doctors on LinkedIn, but let's also connect with maybe some other professionals that also have relationships with doctors. So you can really start to leverage those potential referral partners as well. But if you were to tell me that your ideal client is, maybe a woman in her 20s, 30s with some kids, she might have a job, she might be a stay-at-home mom, that's Facebook, Instagram all day long. So it kind of goes back to step one, who is it that you want to be getting your message in front of? It doesn't make sense to be on a social media platform just to say that you're on it.
And then lastly, for us people who are now maybe just getting into, maybe we've operated on a fairly old school basis before, it's easy to get a little bit disheartened by seeing, okay, we put a post out there, put something out there, and we didn't see the results from it. So I guess what would you have to say to those who might consider working with you and might have that hesitation to want to do so because they have this idea in their head that, you know what, I tried to put something out there, I didn't get the phone ringing, I didn't get the results I wanted to see. What is different about working with you that helps to resolve that issue?
Yeah, it's a good question. And I have people tell me that all the time, that they are disheartened and disillusioned and frustrated because they feel like they've been trying and it's a bit of a tree falls in the woods scenario. They put a post on their page and it's like crickets, right? Nothing happens. The reason for that is, and I know I sound like a broken record, but it really is so true. It's all tied back into knowing who it is that you're trying to attract. If we get really clear on who it is that we want to put our message in front of and help the algorithm understand, oh, this is what your page is all about, right? You'll get the algorithm to actually start to show your content organically to this community that didn't even know about you before. So that's kind of one of the reasons why you don't get engagement is because 9 times out of 10, we're putting stuff on our page that is not anything that your niche ideal market really has any interest in. But the other reason why you're not seeing any engagement is because, remember how I said the second, that there's 2 jobs, the algorithm. The second is profiling the behaviors. The first one is controlling how many people actually see your posts. And so it's all about engagement. If you put a post on your page, the algorithm does not show that to every person that has liked your page. So let's just say, for example, we've got 500 likes on your business page. The algorithm is not showing that post to all 500 people that have liked your page. In fact, it's going to hold it very close to its chest and only show it to a very small percentage of that 500, maybe even 10. So the algorithm is going to show it to 10, and those 10 tend to be people that have engaged with your page or a post in the past. So it shows it to those 10. If those 10 do nothing, they don't like, they don't comment, they don't share, then the algorithm says, well, that didn't add any value, and I'm not going to run the risk of showing this post to any more of those likes. So that post literally falls into the graveyard. So how do you get the content that's the high engagement? Because there's kind of one end of the high engagement content spectrum and the other. One end of the spectrum is very like almost the shock, the fear, the oh my God kind of gross side factor. And then the other factor end of the spectrum is the funny, warm and fuzzy, inspirational, motivational, that type of content. What we tend to post is what I call the middle of the road mediocre type stuff. Because you have to think about, what are you competing with, right? All the other content that's showing up on the Facebook user community's newsfeed. But if you start posting content that is of greater interest to the who you're trying to get in front of, that's going to start to get you the ripple effect. And it doesn't even have to be yours. You could go to other business pages and find other business pages that cater to that same demographic. And you could simply share posts from these other pages. And here's the trick. Share the posts that have the big fat heavy pebble posts on those pages. The chances are, if they did really well, meaning they're getting likes and comments and shares, if you share that onto your page, the chances are you're going to get that ripple effect as well. But if you're posting content that got 1 or 2 likes, you're sharing content that have 1 or 2 likes, that's not the big fat heavy pebble that you're looking for. But it's going to go, we're going all the way back to the first thing I said. You have to figure out the who. And then you get in their head. Then you figure out what are they interested in. And then you find content that is going to be of interest to them. And that's when you're going to start to see the engagement. So 80% of the postings and the content that you put on your page really needs to be all about them. And it's almost an oh, by the way conversation that you have. I happen to be a fill in the blank, right? But the more that we make it about them, the greater the engagement and the less tree falls in the woods kind of scenario. Oh. It's all about having the strategy. Step 1, right?
Yeah. So step 1 for everyone watching this video is, if you don't know Karen, if you haven't met with her, and you're curious about kind of beefing up your social media presence, please reach out to her and her team. Thank you, Karen. I really appreciate your time. I'll tag your information on the end of this video.
My pleasure, Nate. Thank you. Appreciate the opportunity.